Hey there, it's Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and now we're looking at a 2010 Porsche Panamera, our channel's first one. This one here, the Panamera S with the 4.8-liter V8 engine that puts out 400 horsepower. If you need more power, there's a twin-turbo version that puts out 500 horsepower. Okay, and hood dampers don't work on this car, so I'm just going to leave the hood down. And we'll switch the engine off for the rest of the review. Now, we bought this one from auction, and let's just have a quick look at where this one's going on my phone here. This one's going to, this one's going over to Europe. Actually, this is a USA model of the car. It's going to be heading its way over to Europe. And so it's, I guess it's going for a little bit of sightseeing. Potentially has been driven in the USA, but maybe not. Moved over to Japan, then moved over to Europe. I think it's landing in Greece by the look of it. Okay, we'll just switch the key off. I'll show you this key. It looks like a Panamera. Kind of a Porsche thing, right? Leave that in there for now. We'll come back to the interior in just a second. For now, we're just going to go over the condition sheet. And usually we would have that here, but silly me, left that in the office. And so we've got Derek's iPhone 15. I'm not really the iPhone 15 kind of guy, I will say, though. I had an iPhone 8 until it broke, and then I just bought this one because it was the newest one. And I'll probably have it until there's an iPhone 20. And so I'll go ahead and translate this for you. It's a 2010 Porsche Panamera. That makes it at the second year. And it's the 4S, so the four-wheel drive. Yes, you can get them in rear-wheel drive too if you want. 4.8-liter engine, power steering, power windows, sunroof, leather, alloy wheels, and has 68,000 kilometers on it. That is known mileage. And even though this is a US model, the gauge set has been changed over to kilometers. And so I believe that that's just a setting in the computer. Automatic transmission, it is a PDK transmission, so a little bit more information on that in a second. It says wheels from the turbo version, or maybe the late model turbo version. What is this? Seat ventilation, so like air that goes through the seats. And what is this? Alpine flip-down monitor. That's in the rear. I don't think I've ever seen an Alpine flip-down monitor that has been put into a sedan or like just a car. Usually that's for minivans. And then the report here says exterior various small scratches, small dents, wheel scratch, door mirrors scratched, interior dirty, wear, and part comes up. It's the headliner, actually. It comes down, really. So headliner comes down and dashboard comes up. I guess kind of the opposite, right? But it's the same word. Uki means like becomes separated from the surface that it's supposed to be on. And then it says hood damper doesn't work and undercover is cracked. Now the car's too low in order for me to see any cracked undercover. The body here looks good with A2 on the front bumper and then rock chips, mild rock chips on the back fenders. So, first time looking at a Panamera. I have been in some before, just out of curiosity while I was at the auction. This is the first one that we have bought for export, and I think it's a smoking deal. Now, when these were new, they were very expensive, $150,000. Now you can get them for a lot less than that if you want to. Now, that said, they are a Porsche. They're going to have a certain level of maintenance that's required. And I think that's why the price falls so sharply for basically anything European here in Japan. That goes for Volkswagens, BMWs, Audis, Mercedes-Benz, and of course Porsche as well. The price after 5 years is only 60% left, maybe 50% left. And then when they become this old, like basically 15 years old or so, they're a fraction of the original cost of them. Now, the Porsche Panamera, I suppose, kind of a weird car for them to make. It's like, it's a Grand Tourer. It's only a 4-seater, even though it's really big. And then it's a bit of a station wagon or maybe shooting brake kind of body style. I suppose something like this is more attractive to me than the Cayenne, except for the fact that it only has 4 seats, and I would need 5. But the seats in the back are ultra luxury. You know, in a lot of cars, the front seats are very luxurious and they have the heated seats and the cooled seats and all of that. And then the rear seats are a bit of an afterthought because it's mostly kids that are going to be sitting back there. In this car, it's absolutely something that they're expecting adults to sit in the back. It has a very, very beautiful center console that kind of mimics the front one. Very comfortable seats and a lot of leg room. It is a big car, so of course it's got a lot of leg room, but Yeah, very, very comfortable to sit in this for a long cruise. And the seats, very, very nice seats. Okay, so this is a condition report, so let's have a look at the condition. And I must say it's been in quite good condition with a few things here and there. And let me just list off the few things. The transmission is a little bit slow to shift from stepping on the brake to stepping on the throttle. You can move the throttle a little bit and rev up the engine a bit before the transmission decides it's time to go. I have no idea if that's how it's supposed to be or if this one is lacking in some way. I get a bit picky when it comes to transmissions, and I've never really liked any of the dual clutch transmissions from any of the manufacturers because they tend to be a little bit weird with the logic. That said, they do offer better fuel economy and they offer better performance, and so there is a trade-off. PDKs have also shiftable yourself buttons and that sort of thing, and they shift extremely quickly. Okay, the other things that are wrong with it, the headlights have some cloudiness. Front bumper has a couple of very mild scratches. They said A2 on the auction sheet, but that's being a little bit harsh. And most of them are not going to be visible, and then the ones that are visible are going to be pretty small, like these little chips here. And then I believe that we have a few chips here, this one and this one. Okay, and the headlight on this side, much the same. Your badge is in good condition. And the paint all around is the original paint and all in good condition, so it's good to see that. But boy, is this car large. I remember when this car came out. It was shocking that they decided to make it. But I knew somebody who bought one on the first year that it came out. A very wealthy family. And I was very impressed, taking a little poke around it. And brakes on it, giant size calipers, giant size discs. It's a 6-piston caliper and slotted discs on the front. The rear has monoblock 4-piston caliper, and then big slotted discs on the back as well. I suppose going by what the seller said, these wheels are from the turbo, and they do look quite aggressive. It's a 255 tire on the front and a 295 tire on the rear. A couple of aftermarket parts have been put on. One of them, this carbon wrap here on the B-pillar. I guess somebody likes that. I personally do not. I'm sorry. I know it's your car. I know you just bought it. I don't like your wrapped B-pillars. And then they put this on, which I think from the factory they come with this. And this is like a cover because rock chips get kicked up from the wheel up there. And this part of the car kind of sweeps out to the rear wheel to give it like a blistered look. And as a result, you can collect rock chips along here. So from the factory, they put a little piece here. It's usually a clear plastic. It's on a ton of Porsches and several other cars. This one, it has potentially some other chips. The auction sheet said there are chips in this area. A little hard to tell when it's dirty like this. It appears to be mostly on the side skirt with just a few in this area here. And so it is something that potentially could be fixed up. The rear spoiler here is an aftermarket one, and that's an electric spoiler. You can lift this up. And why don't we actually actuate that to have a look at what it looks like? I think that this wing that has been put on top of the stock spoiler might be aftermarket. It has a look like it's a bit lower quality than the rest of the car. We'll come back to the interior, so don't peek yet. Does the car need to be on? Press the button to raise the spoiler. And now the spoiler's raised. Now I believe that like most other Porsches, this should be speed sensitive, or you can manually actuate it. And so it does actually offer some benefits at higher speeds. These are made for driving in Germany on the Autobahn, and so your legal speed limit might be too low for that actually to have a performance gain. And then as for the aftermarket piece, I'm not sure how effective that is. This is very similar to what you get in a 911 or Boxster or Cayman. Same type of weird little plastic bit that comes up. Okay, and I'll just switch this back off until we're ready to go into the interior. Okay, taillights might be aftermarket. I don't know. Somebody in the comments let me know. The reason why I think so is because there are a ton of little micro cracks in it, which is not something that I think you would get from a stock taillight, even in the harsh Japanese sun. This August was so hot, our average temperature, this is average in day and night, was 32 degrees. And the September was 31 degrees. Like, it's been insane here this year. Quad exhausts on this one. And yes, the 4-wheel drive Panamera 4S. I don't think you pay a lot more for the turbos because, you know, a turbo car is going to scare people even more. But it is the same engine that comes in the Cayenne. And the Cayenne's been out for a while, and this has been out for a while too. So it's given some time for the shops to understand how it works. Now, side panels are all very... Oh, side marker delete. Side panels are all very good. That is a functional vent there for lowering your lift in the front. Yes, that side looks great. Okay, let's go now to... Oh, before we do the interior, a couple of things. This chrome has turned cloudy. Needs to be polished back up. And then our B-pillar wrapping has peeled off a little bit here. Probably needs to be removed, in all honesty. Okay, open the trunk. And lucky you don't have to do manual labor because you decided to buy a Porsche. There you go. Decent sized trunk. I'm not going to say it's huge. Huge car, decent sized trunk. You don't need a ton more than this. And because it's a hatchback, you can stack stuff on top of each other to put it in here. It actually goes in a decent amount past the net here on both sides. You got a compartment down here for some very small things. And it has an upgraded audio system by Burmester. I don't recognize the brand name, but probably good. All the brand names you don't recognize are probably even better than the ones you do. LED lights. Weird. What's this? Oh, nothing in there. Okay, so this back section here would normally carry a tonneau cover. It might be optional, as it is in some car makers or some types of cars. And then you have a rear screen here that comes up, but you can't pull it up. It's all electronic because, again, you bought the Porsche. How dare you think that you can do that with your own hands? Okay, I'm going to go into the back seat first, which is actually the preferred location to be. Like, maybe I'll take that back. The back seats aren't the preferred place to be because it's probably fun to drive, but you don't usually see a back seat that is this comfortable and this nice, so it is interesting to check out. We'll say that the doors are on air struts, and so unlike a regular car, you can open the door to whatever you want, and then it will just stay there. And so this is something that I think the S-Class had first, and then the BMW 7 Series had it shortly after. Again, if I'm wrong, let me know. But it is kind of a luxury car thing. There's your air strut down there. You get plastic, not real aluminum here, and that's plastic too. It's not the worst because, you know, it's what most car makers do, but it would be nice to have had aluminum there. It is an expensive car. And then there, Burmester exhaust, or not exhaust, I can't speak. Burmester audio. Yes. Okay, there's all your leg room, which is pretty nice. Of course, you can push those seats forward a bunch if you need a little bit more legroom, and then tons of airbags. I think you get the 2 regular ones on the steering wheel and on the dashboard. Then you get A-pillar, B-pillar, seat, and D-pillar. And let's go in now. Seats, very nice and firm, high quality feeling leather. That's a big deal. Just because a car comes with leather seats doesn't mean it's good leather. There are a lot of cheap leathers, even in some higher end cars. But this is a nice creamy feeling leather. And then it's perforated, and then seats in the back. I believe the seats in the back are heated. I'm not 100% sure, maybe not. Let's see controls here. There's a cup holder in here. Let's just close that. So you do get 4-zone climate control back here, but it doesn't look like your rear seats are heated. But I almost guarantee you can get heated rear seats as an option in this car or on the higher end versions. And just the contours of the seats, the nice bolstering, and the fact that the bottom of it dips down and comes up is a rear seat that you don't feel like, I mean, it feels different from the ones that I've sat in. And I've sat in a lot of cars. Oh, so soft and cushy. You get your own vents here and over here and up here, a reading lamp there, and an aftermarket flip down monitor for the kids. Okay, the auction sheet said that the headliner comes down or sags down. Here it is in the corner. Can you see that? And this one up here as well. It's not too bad. All Euro cars kind of do it. A little bit weird. So you can put another cup here. You can flip this up to put the cup, or Japanese cup in there. Like the Japanese coffees are this size, and then a regular size drink there. Kind of neat that they changed that over from the American one. And the reason why we know it's an American one is because it has the stickers for it in the door jamb, and I got pictures of those. Another cup holder here. I just noticed it has some dents here. Unfortunate. And then controls for where you want the air to blow, the temperature, and the fan speed. Now, the same switches on the front are broken, so you can set the AC as auto right now, but you can't lower the fan speed, and it is fairly noisy. So do keep that in mind. You'll have to switch those switches. Okay. Oh, and here's something else. Take a look. Close the door. The armrest is here, including this little part here that's not on the door. See? That's on all four of your doors. Front and rear has the same thing. It's a little thing, but little things can make a car much better. Going into the front now. We have a little bit of dirtiness on the door card there. It's not real leather either. I don't think it is. I don't think it's real leather. I think it is real leather. Panamera 4S. Okay, now have a look at this. Manufactured by DR Ing HCF Porsche AG. This vehicle conforms with all applicable U.S. federal motor vehicle safety, bumper, and theft prevention standards in effect at the date of manufacture. So yeah, you don't get that sticker unless it's the U.S. version of the car. We also have everything basically in English. Okay, and then stickers here for compliance in Japan. Now the seats here, great seats to be in, and it feels like a long trip. Will not feel like a long trip. You could just relax. Don't relax too much when you drive in the car, of course. But yeah, you know, you don't need to get an SUV to get the luxury and the space that you want. Of course, the SUV will have a little bit more space, but compared to a minivan, SUVs are pretty inefficiently packaged. And I always felt like, why can't we have cars that are, you know, station wagons, but still a little bit higher end, a little bit more like an SUV, but just lower to the ground and sportier. And that's exactly what you get here. So jumping in, of course you have seats that you can control, the settings. You can have memory seats, that's what it's called. We also have something here too. It's 1, 2, and 3, and I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it might be different lamp settings or sunroof settings perhaps, not sure. Steering wheel has shift yourself buttons. They're quite nice and molded right into the steering wheel. Okay, and it is a full leather steering wheel and looks quite nice. Pedals, pretty standard Porsche. And then this thing, a pretty standard Volkswagen, and it's going to break at some point. Luckily, you can get them for $5 on the internet. We had somebody have one of those break for us, and I was like, $5? Well, I'll just buy it and install it for free. So, that happened last month. Okay, here's all your gadgets. Cup holder here, ashtray here. The vehicle has been smoked in. It smells like cigarettes inside here. It doesn't have any ash remnants in here, but it does smell like it. Decently large place to put your feet. And I do want to hear that stereo. We're missing a little thing here. The cover for this, and this is cup holders inside. One of them flips out way faster than the other one. Oop. And hopefully can flip back. Okay. Glove box, pretty decent. And that missing piece there is in the glove box. The part of the dashboard that comes up is right here. You see this? It's a little loose. It's a leather piece. It has shrunk, it looks like. That's the only place. Okay. I think that our video is 19 minutes long. This video is supposed to be about 12 minutes long, sometimes shorter. So maybe I've gone a little bit overboard here, but hope you enjoyed it. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you made it all the way to the end. If you did, thank you so much. It's going to be all for this one. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.